certificate course by Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. She's also completed a peer review course and paneled herself as a peer reviewer. Fondly, she's also known as tally advancedist, wherein she helps the client and their team become functional experts. And for the benefits of the member at large, she's also recently started her YouTube channel, Tally Simplified by CA Vandana Dodhia. She's been also appointed as a co-opted member of Grievance Committee of ICI, WRC of ICI, Women Excellence Committee, she was a member, Allied Law Representation Committee, she was a member. In the span of 20 years, she served as a CA profession as a co-opted and subgroup member at various committees. To mention a few, Digital Accounting and Assurance Committee, Management Accounting Committee, and Women Empowerment Committee. She is also serving as a committee member of Coaching Class Committee of Goods and Service Tax Practitioners Association of Maharashtra. She is also a life member at various professional associations like AIFTP, GST, PM, BCAS, CTC, MCTC, JCF. All these, these are just few, to name a few. She is so active. She's been associated with many communities. Her journey of becoming CA has also been published in a book called Swing, Stories of Women CA Inspiring the New Generation. Her life journey is also published by ejobocean.com, thefinancestory.com. She is also interviewed in the insightsuccess.com under Woman Entrepreneur 2020 section. She is a passionate singer. She's also won the she's won the prize in the category of the highest like on Facebook in the semi-final virtual singing competition organized by the Rotary Club of Powai in the Powai Festival. Music being her passion, she has founded International Fellowship of Rotarian Musician Chapter in the year 2017, and now she is a treasurer of the same. She was the vice president of Rotary Club of Borivali in the year 2021-22. So that was a brief about our dynamic host, CA Vandana Dodhia. Let us come to our expert speaker today, CA AANCHAL Kapoor, all the way from Amritsar. She has made an exemplary contribution in the profession and industry as national speaker on GST, chartered accountant and law graduate in taxation practice for more than a decade, with privilege of educating through 300 plus GST deliberations across India to professionals, industries and trade at large. She has a prerogative of addressing an august gathering of 2,200 plus participants at one point. She is a renowned faculty at the National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics. She is also an excellent academic. She is also possessing an academic career. So just to name a few awards that she has won, she is a gold medalist in BCom, second merit in BCom 2, third merit ranking in BCom 3, awarded the best paper in mathematics by ICI, 7th merit ranking, 12th in Punjab, rank holder at various CA forums. She's also been a winner of the AIFTP Presidential Award for the year 2021-22, awarded by the NIRC ICI for her exemplary contribution to the profession, presented with the award of the appreciation by the Intellectual Forum Amritsar, felicitated by NIRC and EIRC as eminent speaker on GST. She's also been actively involved in social activities at various NGOs, member FICCI Amritsar chapters, working for the well-being of the needy people at the old age homes, Pingalwaras, etc. A dynamic personality. Let us all welcome CA Vandana Dodhia as well as our CA AANCHAL Kapoor with a round of applause.
So thank you, Sangeeta. So it's been great new year. Wish you all bright and prosperous new year. The fourth virtual inning of SGF starts today with the opening batsman AANCHAL Kapoor. And the way she has won the awards, I believe that, the award is a recognition, what you have contributed. So here, Sangeeta madam ka brief introduction is, she is the GMCS trainer, she is also part of trainer. And I always admired her smile and the way of, curating the words. I like to learn from her how in a short words you can narrate, describe someone. And she was being passed as a speaker on a, ethics. I had invited. Now in the pipeline, she'll be also attending our another series. See, Achal, thank you once again. Matlab, we were, looking after last year. We were trying to get. मतलब she's always diary is busy. तो आज भैया हमारी चाय पे चर्चा जो शुरुआत कर रहे हैं, तो we thought कि what is the need of ours? See, generally बहुत सारे topics है. CA बोलेगा तो lots of topics goes on. But the need of our was GST. It's knocking, and the appeal has started. They have now suddenly appellate. They have decided, so they are on the verge of. So we thought apt. So our small study group wanted is something which is really important from the participants' point of view, value addition point of view. So to start with, firstly, which year adjudication is over and which can be taken up now onwards? That will be my first question to start with. Over to you.
First of all, thank you so much, CA Vanna Dodhia ji, for giving me this opportunity. I must say, a vivacious personality, always smiling, cheerful, enjoying life. Who says chartered accountants or the advocates are boring people? See, we all enjoy our life, so colorful, and that is what the tinge I give in my presentations also whenever I present. I can see so many known faces over there, and definitely thank you so much, Sangeeta madam, for the profile reading and adding adjectives to it. And I can see some very known faces. Ashwin Acharya sir is there, and various other people are there. So I'm very thankful to you, Vandana, firstly for making me part of it and to make me interact with the lovely audience. So talking about the first question, GST appeals are ready. The work is the work which is going to be now coming on our tables in the time to come. Reason being the first question which you asked me, that adjudication is completed for which years and which years are to be taken up. So talking about it, the adjudication firstly for the year 1718, as per section 73. See, friends, there are two sections for adjudication, for basically demand and recovery sections. That is section 73 and section 74. Section 73 is meant for non-fraud cases, non-suppression cases, normal, where there is interpretation of law or some minor errors. So for 1718, section 73 time period is over. The last date for that was 31st December 2023, the gone year, was the last date for passing of order under section 73 for the section 73, 1718. Now talking about 1819, देखिए गवर्नमेंट हमारे लिए डेट बढ़ाए या ना बढ़ाए, अपने लिए जरूर बढ़ाती है. सो गवर्नमेंट ने, क्योंकि 31st दिसंबर वाज अप्रोचिंग और सेक्शन 73 का टाइम जो था वो 31st दिसंबर था, और गवर्नमेंट को लगा सारे शोकोज नोटिस तो अभी गए नहीं है, कुछ टैक्स पेयर्स छूटने वाले हैं, सीएस और एडवोकेट्स का काम कम नहीं होना चाहिए. सो दे इंक्रीज द डेट बाय 1 month फॉर द 1718 and the issuance of show cause now for 1718 for 1819, sorry, for 1819, the show cause notice under section 73 can come till 31st of January, and the assessment is required to be completed by 30th April. Likewise, they have increased it for the further years also, 1920 also. They have taken it to 31st August being the last date and 31st May be the last date for issuance of notice. But these time periods are for 1718, 1819, 1920 for section 73. Vandana, because it's always very difficult to remember the dates. If you permit me, I just want to share one chart with the viewers, and they can just see that chart here. Here it goes. So this is the comprehensive chart for section 73, 74, till what date show cause can be received and up to what date the order needs to be passed for that very year. So this is a comprehensive chart with all the extended deadlines that have been come into picture. Over to you.
So indeed, it's something the way you added for government, if they are reaching towards deadline, it extension comes, and we are reaching, we have to back to them. Please, please, there is a dire need, and please extend it. So here comes now for RTPs for who orders are already passed. What will be the remedy available to them?
Again, when you are talking about that for the RTPs, the registered taxable persons, for whom the orders have already been passed, there are always two ways, either to go for the appeals or there is a writ remedy. But these are two alternative remedies. And generally, the high courts, they take the plea when there is a normal recourse of appellate available. So you should not go for the resort to the writ remedy.
Yeah.
So for the normal orders passed under 73 or 74, in case those have been passed, so the remedy that remains available with the registered taxpayer is the appeal remedy. For this, I just want to highlight one thing. See, remedies under GST. Can you see my screen? I hope all right.
Yeah.
So you see, we have appeals, which are under section 107. Then we have revision under 108. And we also have rectification under 161. Now, let me talk about these three pillars one by one. Talking about the revision first. Friends, if we talk about the revision, it is always taken up by the department when the when the additions are to be made. Means when they find orders prejudicial to the interest of the revenue. So when they want to increase the taxes, so it's the department's area where they can increase it. So revision is not particularly meant for us. So coming towards the rectification, if you feel that there has been some error in your orders, which are due to the mistakes that are apparent from record. Let me talk about firstly, for example, the calculation errors, some prima facie errors, the appellate effect has not been given sometimes. So considering such things that are the mistakes which are apparent from records, so then you can resort to the rectification under section 161. But for the normal things, normal orders that have been passed and maybe under 73 or 74, appeal is the remedy which is available under section 107. But let me add on a few more pointers to it. Appeal, when I say you can go to 107, there are certain conditions attached to it. Sometimes you have to make the pre-deposits on which, yes, and very important. If your appeal is relating to refunds, Vandana, sometimes it's not only the orders that have come into picture, but your refund has been normal, not the adjudication orders, but some refund orders. And one thing more, आजकल CS को GST में बहुत calls आती है कि मेरा कंसाइनमेंट सो एंड सो जगह पर पकड़ा गया है, ऑफिसर ने उसको कर लिया है, डिटेन कर लिया है. सो सेक्शन 129 अपील्स, or you have refund appeals, you can have classification issue appeals, you can have adjudication 73, 74 ke against appeals. Okay, if I ask the viewers, can appeal be filed against an audit under GST? The answer is no, it cannot be. For appeal, there must be an order, and audit report is not an order. So please make sure if you are covered under the audit under GST, the next step will be you will be receiving a show cause notice against which the order will be passed. Once the order will be passed, then you can resort to the appellate remedy under section 107. For refund cases, no pre-deposits are required. For normal appeal cases, adjudication against adjudication orders or order in original when relates to adjudication or otherwise, 10% pre-deposit is required of the tax amount, not of the interest or penalties. And further going by it, if your appeals are related to detention, like 129 section I talked about, then 25% of the penalty you need to keep as a pre-deposits. So those who have received the orders, but those are not favorable, or you feel that a proper justice to that has not been done, So then you can go to the appellate remedies. And Vandana, you know, after 31st December, I am receiving so many calls from various councils. They said, we received the notice in March. Nothing has come in our view post that. And suddenly on 31st December, we are receiving a DRC 07, that is the order. So in all these cases, the appeals are required to be filed. Those are being done by the department on their own assessment. And furthermore, even the proper opportunity of heard has not been granted. So if you take those for the appellate remedies, so that can prove beneficial for the RTP in the times to come.
Right. I had one small immediate question. You said 10% or a 25% of the deposit to be paid. Is there any upper cap? Matlab, there is a maximum amount to be paid. You know, there has to be
Yes,
something.
25 CR is the maximum cap.
Maximum.
25 CR plus 25 CR for CGST 25 CR and for SGST 25 CR. So it's totaling 50 CR is the maximum cap.
There has to be some upper cap. Otherwise, so they will just keep on
That is
granting.
50 CR is the maximum cap.
So this is all about the filing the appeal, and where Commissioner 1072, if you can just now highlight. You covered 1071.
Okay, I tell you because I was to take wanted to
Later
take that
on.
at later
Okay,
stage.
okay,
Anyhow,
okay.
so
Okay.
we discuss that if you want. And if you see appeals, firstly, we are talking about from the RTP's viewpoint. So that is why I talked about
registered trade
appeal by the aggrieved person. So 107.1 I talked about that the appeals which we are going to file. You know, so the appeals which we are going to file, the person is required to make a pre-deposit for the same until or unless it is related to the refund, or it is something where the tax demands have already been paid in full. So then there will be no pre-deposit requirement. One thing more, Vandana, which I want to highlight here, and that issue is many times the question comes to us, can we use a credit ledger for the payment of this pre-deposit amount? The answer certainly is yes. You can use your credit ledger, and by this only, one more thing I want to bring to your notice is the amnesty scheme of the appeals that is running as of now also, and is valid till 31st January 2024, whereby if you have missed the appeal time period, can you anybody quickly write in the chat box or something that what has been the time period for appeal? It is 3 months from the date of order. 3 months, right? So if you have missed that deadline, or 1 month condonation only, so 3 plus 1 maximum time under which the appeal was required to be filed, but because that time period has now elapsed. Great, Amardeepa ji, I could see your answer in the chat box. So absolutely. So if you could not file that, so now there is an amnesty scheme. If your order has been passed till 31st March 2023 and you could not file your appeal on time, then 31st January 2024 is the deadline. Till then, you can file your appeals. And this date of 31st March has already been challenged in the courts also, that why 31st March when the date of the notification was November. So the court has even extended the benefit post 31st March also, but please make sure the amnesty is continuing up to 31st January 2024. So avail the benefit if the person has skipped the deadlines of filing appeals. And Vanna, through this medium, I want to bring it to the notice of one and all that in GST, the appellate authorities are not giving the condonnations. Not giving. So 3 plus 1 is the time period. Only 1 month condonation is allowed until or unless you go to High Court after that and court instructs the appellate authority that you must condone the delay. They are not condoning the delay at all.
So before we jump to the next question, there's a question by Amardeep Mahapatra. Can first appellate order DRC 07?
Yes.
Order of May 2023 in amnesty scheme, we can
Amardeepa Mohapatra ji, I already mentioned that the date is 31st
March 23, right?
However,
Right.
That has been, there is a favorable judgment for the MNST scheme, and that I show you right now if you want me to. Just give me a while. And where this deadline by the High Court has been challenged, and the court has extended the benefit. So,
Achal, spelling was wrong. Amnesty ma.
oh yes.
Hmm.
अभी भी गलत है शायद. Wait. MNST. I just show you that. Yeah, here it is. So this is the MNST scheme as per notification 53/23. And this is the case. And yes, one more thing. Nexus Motors is the case. You can see it on my screen. In the Nexus Motor case, in the Patna High Court, they have challenged this date of, because the date of issuance of notification was 2/11/2023. So they have challenged it, that why the cutoff has been kept as 31st March 2023.
Simple, no, logical.
Mahapatra ji, you can take the benefit of this Nexus Motor Private Limited judgment by the Honorable Patna High Court. But one thing more I want to highlight here. I told you that 10% deposit can be met through the credit ledger. There is no doubt in that. But if you are going under MNST scheme, the deposit amount is 12.5%. Here it is. You see, 12.5%. And for this 12.5%, 2.5%, which is the extra amount, because you are under MNST scheme, that has to be paid through cash only. So in the example right in front of you, it is 1,000 is the disputed tax amount, 12.5%, 125 is the deposit required. Out of this, 100 you can pay through the credit ledger, 25 additional amount has to be remitted through cash.
So that puts us to whether we can file online or offline appeal, you know.
All right, now let me stop share for a while, and so that.
And
Yes.
also, while filing, what are the points you will expect the appellate to take care of?
Right, sure. A very lengthy question indeed. So, if I talk about, चाय पे चर्चा थोड़ी लंबी होने वाली है आज. So, talking about it, first, can appeal be filed online or offline? Friends, GST is an online thing. इतना button click पे सब कुछ होगा. Who can be a better person to tell all this to us other than Vandana? You know, she has been a tele expert. So everything is getting automatic. Abhi 5 crore ka limit hai invoicing mein. Soon we will see that being vanished by the government even. जितना e-invoicing का limit down आता है, उतना automation आता है. So the more automation, so yes, the appeals in GST have to be filed online. But there is again a twist. GST without twist is nothing, you know. So there is again a twist into it, and that twist is Tran 1 ka window, if you remember, owing to the Supreme Court judgment of Philco, was again reopened. और बहुत जगह वो रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया Tran 1 का क्रेडिट. और जब हम Tran 1 का अपील फाइल करने गए, वो ऑर्डर ही ऑनलाइन नहीं आ रहा था. अब जब ऑर्डर ऑनलाइन नहीं है, you cannot click upon the order number, how you will file an appeal, because that order number must be there. So government brought the change at that time, although there was no law. In February 2023, when the orders were passed, we were left with no remedy, because 3 months में तो हमको appeal file करना था, as I already told you, कि 3 months is the normal time period. We all filed the appeals manually. Now the government has brought change in the law. They said appeals have to be filed online, but in case your order number is not showing online, then you can file the appeal manually. So it's like a ratification of what we already did, even without the law. So they have brought this change. Because Vandana, you know, mobile wings of the department, with due respect to them, they have been issuing the orders, और generally mobile wing का जो detention के orders होते हैं वो भी online नहीं आते हैं. So considering that बहुत difficulty होती है, you have to file the appeals because many SGST departments they are not giving the orders online, etc., etc. So जहाँ पे orders online नहीं है, then only you can file the appeal manually. Otherwise, appeal in GST or any correspondence should be online only. May it be the reply to the notices. Maybe you want to go for appellate or something, submission of the documents, etc. Everything needs to be made online. Now, coming to the second part of the question is, what are the points to be considered while filing? I relate these with the notices even. हमको एक notice आता है, हम सीधा देखते हैं अच्छा notice आया है, क्या क्या points और उसके answers देने के लिए we just start gathering the material and all. But there are certain points which we need to check on legal grounds. And what are those grounds? Jurisdiction. The person who has issued you the notice, is he the proper person to issue you the notice? Then applicability, although Brandix's judgment has now been subject to Supreme Court because they have put a stay on the Honorable High Court judgment by the Supreme Court. But this says there must be a DIN, and there is a proper circular number 122 in GST, which talks about any correspondence. And that is an income tax case, Brandix. So if we leave apart, yes, that has now been challenged in the Honorable Supreme Court too. But there is a proper circular in GST, circular number 122, which says that every correspondence must be accompanied by a DIN. Person who is issuing you the notice must be the correct authority. Monetary limits. There are monetary limits set. 10 lakh तक का notice superintendent देगा. उससे ऊपर का असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर देगा, उससे 20 लाख से ऊपर जाएगा तो इसके पास जॉइंट के पास जाएगा. सो प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट द मॉनेटरी लिमिट्स आर ड्यूली एडहेयर्ड टू. 90% of the cases can come out merely on the legal grounds.
On the legal ground. Correct.
Yes, I always, Vanna, prepare my case on 2 grounds. Divide your legal grounds and divide your factual issues.
Factual.
So, sometimes, of course, when we go to the tribunals and all, maybe the income tax tribunal or cess tax, so they says, okay, you leave the legal grounds, come on the factual grounds, or else it can be both ways. So please make sure that you are very clear that your legal grounds are totally complied with. कौन कर रहा है, कब कर रहा है, क्या लिमिट के बियॉन्ड तो नहीं जा रहा. और जैसे सेक्शन 61 के नोटिसेस इशू हुए, उसमें ये भी नहीं देखा गया कि what queries they can ask for. See, scrutiny of returns is not audit. You cannot go for the detailed investigations. You cannot ask me, bring your books of accounts. I want to check this. I want to check that. No, that has to be a very specific one, highlighting the differences that, okay, I have observed so and so difference in your return. And you are supposed to give me you solve the discrepancy and provide the supportings in that regard. So please make sure that the legal positions are adhered to. And for the appeal, see, I prepare my appeal in a very detailed way. Although I say income tax appeals and GST appeals are little different. And Vanna, why I refer to income tax, वो बहुत देर से हमारे दिमाग में यहाँ बैठा हुआ है. उसके mechanisms are fit into our brains.
Appeal word पहले से ही हमारे साथ IT80 ही घूमते रहता है. अभी तो GST का 7 साल के बाद तो वो appellate उन्होंने डिसाइड किया ना, तब तक कुछ था ही नहीं. So we were just sitting ideal thinking कब appeal चालू होगा करके. So good, you are reminding us those golden days.
So income tax का appeal में we keep the grounds very simple. Online upload करते हैं, specific words का limit होता है and all that. GST का जो appellate form है, first appeals का APL 01 form है. Of course, you have to keep your grounds of appeal very brief and very to the point. Along with that, please be careful that the officer must not get lost in your papers. I always put an index at the beginning so that even when I go for the hearing, I must know which document is on what page, referring to the order ka kaun sa page number pe ye issue discuss hua hai. See, these are some basic things which whatever law or wherever we are representing the client matters a lot. So, किस पेज पे, कहाँ पे, क्या चीज डिस्कस्ड है वो प्रॉपर होना चाहिए. And I give my submissions, my paper book, my supportings along with the APL form itself. So I just show you a specimen, and I am a very pictorial sort of person. So whenever I made my PPTs, you might have seen. So I refer to the PPTs generally because I think human brain can retain only 1/4 of what we listen, at least mine. So I'm in a habit of making the notes. Let me share with you all one of my, I just even forgot to hide the name of the client and all. Anyhow, I just skipped that for a while, and let me I just want to show you one of the specimen. अब ये चलेगा भी नहीं और हाँ, here. If you can see, this is the covering letter. After the covering letter, I have given a proper index that in A1 and X first is my, I just zoom in, copy of appeal in the form GST APL 01. What have been the facts of the case under dispute, grounds of appeal, what legal provisions I want to highlight, then the orders. Order is a very important thing, and all these documents should be properly self-certified by the RTP. What has been the replies you have already furnished, what show cause you received, क्या आपका issue रहा, uske relating, like I have given the photographs of the unit 2 and I show you pollution NOC or whatever. This is the APL 01 form which we need to fill, and be careful in filling this amount under dispute. Many appeals in the initial years have been rejected because many people felt this amount as 0. So when you are taking amount under dispute as 0, क्योंकि वो skip हो जाता है कई बारी. Second, whether you want to represent, get a physical hearing, always mark that as yes. You can write yes through authorized representative or whatever, but you need to mention that. Statement of facts and grounds of appeal are very important points, which we see. My appeal was related to refund because it was related to refund. Demand and all columns have been made not applicable. If your appeal is related to the adjudication, there is certain demand created, then how much you are admitting, and for how much in C part you are going to be in dispute. Friends, whatever demand you are admitting, you have to pay 100% of that. For example, there is
जो हमने एडमिट किया, फॉर एग्जांपल समझो 10 lakhs है, उसमें से 5 lakhs इस डिमांड इज ओके एंड 5 lakhs आई एम डिस्प्यूटेड. सो यू मीन टू से जो 5 lakhs हमने एडमिट किया उसका 10% करना है कि डिस्प्यूट करना है.
No, I want to say, let's not divide it into 5 and 5. It will be confusing. Let's
okay,
divide
6 and 4.
6 and 4.
Yeah.
So suppose you are admitting 6 lakhs of demand and 4 lakhs you are in dispute. So what the person is required to do, on 6 lakhs, 100% payment should be there, because 6 lakhs you are admitting, okay, I am liable to pay that 6 lakhs. And for the disputed amount of 4 lakhs, 10% is required to be paid. So this is what they have asked you in the form also. See, how much demand has been created is part number A. How much demand you are admitting is part number B, and how much demand you are disputing is part C. So in my case, because it's a refund appeal, I have said not applicable. Then how much pre-deposit? And you can see here, Vandana, heading also of the 15 number point is details of payment of admitted amount and pre-deposit. So 6 lakh admitted amount, 4 lakh ka 10% is your pre-deposit. So you need to give the entire details of the same. It's a refund appeal, so no pre-deposit required, right? And then here we end our form. If there is a delay, period of delay, and what is the reason. So you need to give a proper condonation. जैसे counsel was not available, या counsel बाहर था, या the party was due to some medical grounds, you can, whatever reason you are giving, a proper condonation letter should be attached to it. So I just run through facts of the statement of facts. I give here what my party is, what it is dealing in, कितनी देर का उसका manufacturing cycle है, and see what they are producing, because my case was related to कि आप input क्या कर रहे हैं और output क्या कर रहे हैं. So I wanted to know the officer, and I just don't want कि वो पीछे जाके फोटो देखे. मुझे तो उसको वही दिखाना है जो मैं दिखाना चाहती हूँ. So I made it the very much the part of the presentation itself that look, I am buying something which is an agri product. It is passing through 17 stages, and this is the 17 stages ka input and output. Total cycle of 7 days, and then it is turning out to be cashew, which we eat. So the first stage cashew is a non-edible product. You cannot eat it. It's even the poisonous one. It has some poisonous substance into it. And then I go for, so this was the statement of facts and everything. And this is the issue under dispute, that what I am disputing upon, what has been the issue, kaun si baat usne meri nahi mani hai. And lastly, I go for the grounds of appeal. And you see, grounds of appeal are very precise. 2-3 liners for every ground, that on what ground I am challenging his order. So, and last is the prayer. What I want that he has rejected my refund, which needs to be set aside, and I should be granted a refund along with the interest. So prayer is also one of the important parts, and followed by it is all the case laws, legal provisions that I have resorted to. See, these are the case laws of the, and I generally prefer, or what I generally prefer, I always try to give the Supreme Court and High Court judgments only, not relying upon the double ARs or triple ARs.
Correct. That is a very wise decision we are doing, and it's a point to be noticed by all the participants viewing us live also and attending this seminar. कि बहुत कि बोलते हैं ना, बहुत साल लग जाते हैं कुछ चीजें समझने के लिए, और आंचल ने तो एक अच्छी टिप दे दी कि रिलाई ऑन अ हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट. तो उनको पता ही है कि आगे फाइट करने जाने से अच्छा है कि ऑलरेडी समथिंग इज डिसाइडेड.
And one thing more, see, जहां पर law perimeteria है, as to the previous regimes, जैसे सेस्टेट का जजमेंट्स आपको मिलता है, so that you can also refer to, और अब तो झुनझुनवाला का जजमेंट भी आ गया है कि where the law is perimeteria, so you can refer to the pre-GST regime judgments also. So this is how I draft my appeals. So you can also refer to the same way if you want.
So indeed, it was the presentations, drafting of appeals, कैसे क्या क्या ध्यान रखना है. Participants will appreciate कि she has taken care of putting photographs also. So what exactly the assessee is doing. So the officer has to stick to the what we are submitting, and not some filmy thinking out of the
Yes,
subject.
Yes, absolutely.
वो digress करने की जगह ही नहीं रखी है उसके लिए.
See, that will depend upon the outcome only, but we should try to put the best of our efforts.
Yes. So now, can the department also file appeal against their own order? The section that the one you wanted to highlight.
That you referred earlier is 107 subsection 2. So again, a contrast between the income tax and GST. Income tax में first appellate level पर only taxpayer जाता है. Commissioner appeals, CIT appeals. Right? So, but GST is little different. In GST, if the commissioner checks your file and finds that the order has not been passed properly, he can say to his subordinate to file the appeal against the department's own order. So even at the first appellate level, it can be an appeal by the aggrieved person, or else it can be an appeal by the department even, which we generally call as review appeal. So where the order is being reviewed, and that is the commissioner says to his subordinate to file an appeal against the department's own order. And this power is exclusively available with the CGST department. So even the state or UT commissioners, they must approach the CGST commissioner for the review appeals, which are under section 107 subsection 2. The first one was 107 subsection 1, which was by the aggrieved person. अब देखो department हमारे लिए time रखता है 3 months, अपने लिए रखता है 6 months.
I was about to ask you, आपने पहले ही बता दिया कि उनके लिए 6 महीने हैं.
हाँ, और हमारे लिए प्री डिपॉजिट, उनके लिए कोई भी प्री डिपॉजिट नहीं है.
प्री डिपॉजिट भी नहीं है.
That these are the, हाँ, but condonation उनका भी 1 month है, condonation हमारा भी 1 month है. And friends, let me tell you, income tax में और GST में ये बहुत बड़ा फर्क है. हम कभी कभी टाइमलाइन स्किप कर जाते हैं. इनकम टैक्स में even we have taken the 729 days condonation even, because the law permits you. Here, GST is very, very clear as to the condonation is only for 1 month. So please adhere to the time periods. So yes, here the department can also take up the cases for review. So big cases which the commissioner can call for the review appeals also.
So what you said is that कि अगर उन्होंने order pass किया था 30th September 23 को, so the timeline for them to go for an appeal is 36 months from now.
March.
हाँ, तो 31st March 24 तक वो खुद जा सकते हैं. Once they file appeal, where the assessee will have to reply immediately, or whether they will also have some options.
There will be cross objections by
Cross
the
objections.
in that case.
And
So
उसका timeline है कुछ के इतने
no,
time
there
में
is
खत्म
no
होना है.
timeline.
There is no timeline, ना? हाँ,
Yes,
there is
and
no
even for the appeal orders, the time
हाँ.
period is 1 year, which is maybe. So, in case it's not may actually. So, if the case permits you, so either they have to record in writing, but it is not a mandatory time period of 1 year to decide the appeal. But yes, time period is provided with that order may be passed within a period of 1 year.
So, okay. So now what we know is that I can file the as a aggrieved person. There is amnesty going on. Even the department can file a review application appeal. So can the addition be enhanced by the appellate authority? मतलब my first order.
You are on mute, Vandana. You are on mute.
जैसे 10 लाख का डिमांड था फर्स्ट अपीलेट में, और बाद में अपीलेट अथॉरिटी कुछ और अनर्थ करेगा और फिर वापस बढ़ा देगा, ऐसा कुछ है प्राविधान?
हाँ, पता है क्या है, ये बात थोड़ा सा छुप छुप के ही होनी चाहिए थी, क्योंकि ज्यादा स्प्रेड नहीं होनी चाहिए. बट द आंसर इज यस. We follow the principle, of course, reformatio in pious, which we say is we are going to appeal to get some relief, but it can be other way around also. The first appellate authority can even enhance the demand what has come in your OIO, for which earlier the show cause notice was not given. But appellate authority must consider it that they must give to the RTP a show cause notice before enhancing the demand. And when I'm talking about the show cause notice, that has to be within the time periods of 73, 74. So, you know what I would say? That the appellate authority will step into the shoes of adjudication authority in case they want to enhance the demand. So they are supposed to firstly issue a show cause notice to the RTP, and they must make sure that the show cause notice should be within the time span as allowed under section 73 or 74. But the answer to it is in section 107, subsection 11, which says that yes, by issuing a show cause notice, that too within the time periods as allowed for 73, 74, the appellate authority can even travel beyond the originally issued show cause notice. So there can be enhancement also. And similar power exists in CIT appeals also for income tax. Mute, you are on mute.
Amardeep sir has come on a questions when no circular or instructions or enabling rules issued by government. Can appellate authority step into the issue of adjudication authority by 107? Subsection 11.
When no circular instruction or enabling rule issued by the government. See, 107 subsection 11 is empowering the appellate authority by issuing a show cause notice to act as a adjudicating authority. Means that by taking the power from section 107 subsection 11, they can enhance the demand, and which says that, okay, show cause notice. So the question was, can it be done? The answer is yes, because section 107 subsection 11 empowers the officer concerned, the appellate authority, to even travel beyond the originally issued SCN. So in that case, the demand can be enhanced.
Very nice. So now almost we are ending, heading towards the time limit. चाय पे इतनी लंबी चर्चा तो हमने सोची भी नहीं थी, but GST is allowing us. And so lastly, can you throw light on the upcoming GST appellate tribunal? थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में बताएंगे.
वंदना जी, ये तो वो एपेलेट अथॉरिटी है, वो ट्रिब्यूनल है जिसकी वेट हम सब मोर देन 6 years से कर रहे हैं। और जब ये आएगा तो इस बेचारे के पास इतनी पेंडेंसी होगी कि न्यू बॉर्न चाइल्ड विद लॉट्स ऑफ पेंडेंसी इज गोइंग टू कम। एंड देयर हैज बीन चेंज आल्सो। See, we are going to see the appellate tribunals in this year 2024, एंड ये 2 बेंचेस के ये आएगा, जैसे प्रिंसिपल बेंच इसका न्यू दिल्ली में होगा, विच विल बी टेकिंग अप द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई केसेस, एंड देयर आर गोइंग टू बी 31 स्टेट बेंचेस। सो 31 स्टेट बेंचेस होंगे, 1 प्रिंसिपल बेंच एट न्यू दिल्ली होगा। जो प्रिंसिपल बेंच का ऑर्डर आएगा उसका केस डायरेक्टली सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास जाएगा, और जो स्टेट बेंचेस के केसेस होंगे उसके बाद हाई कोर्ट एंड देन सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएगा, जो नॉर्मल हायरार्की होती है। सो आई हैव शेयर्ड अ लिस्ट इन माय पीपीटी, जिसमें मैंने वो नोटिफिकेशन शेयर किया है कि 31 प्लेसेस में कहाँ कहाँ ट्रिब्यूनल आने वाला है, स्टेट बेंचेस कहाँ कहाँ आने वाले हैं। उसमें लिमिट्स भी है कि 50 lakhs की अपील तक का जो क्वांटम होगा वो सिंगल मेंबर बेंच सुन पाएगा, अदरवाइज 2 मेंबर्स होंगे। अभी तक रिक्रूटमेंट स्टार्ट नहीं हुई है, but they have made the necessary amendments in the law कि an advocate beyond 10 years can become a part of it and all. So in the times to come, soon we will have the GST Appellate Tribunal, GST 80.
So indeed, that's a great, insight towards the GST drafting of appeals. Who can draft? When can draft? How
And
much
Vandana,
time?
let me add one more thing to it.
Yes,
See,
sure.
cost of litigation in GST is not less. 10% pre-deposit पहली स्टेज पे था, ट्राइब्यूनल में 20% और एडिशनल है, सो 30% इज द प्री डिपॉजिट।
हमारी मिनिमम फीस भी बता देना। minimum. Upper limit can be anything.
all right.
थोड़ा let's educate our fellow chartered accountant or a tax practitioners कि minimum इससे कम में मत कीजिए अपील. That should be the way it should be. That's my message actually. I always pray कि everybody should be working hard for the knowledge. See, GST में तो अभी जो है वो path breaking ही है. Once you said कि एकदम same facts of the case थे तो पुरानी sales tax बैठ के भी we can take the benefit of the case laws, but still research will take time, right? सब वैसा गूगल बाबा नहीं दे सकता है.
Yes, certainly. And finding out the case laws and all the appeal which I shared with you took around 5-7 days for me to gather the material. And then the presentation is something else. The paper book itself is of 150 pages.
Correct.
So it takes time to find out the case laws and to match it with your facts and then give it. Sukhiram हो ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है ना, अंदर का केस और भी हो सकता है, उसके फैक्ट्स कुछ और भी हो सकते हैं.
Correct,
So you need to read it properly and then apply it onto your case.
Correct. So I think participants will agree with me that first person, first opening batsman of this year, our SGF has achieved the target successfully. And the person is still asking Dimple Madam, that paper book is mandatory. See, paper book, Aanchal, you will answer this query.
Dimple ji, see, you can submit the paper book later on also when you file. But generally what happens that sometimes when it goes to, yes, we do it for the appellate tribunals. But what I do, you can do it even at the time of hearing also. लेकिन क्या होता है, जब आप hearing के time पे paper book देते हैं तो officer कहते हैं मैंने तो paper book read ही नहीं की. What you are submitting, how can I take your hearing? So in order to avoid that thing, already बहुत pendency है appellates के पास. So in order to avoid that thing, अगर आपको 6 महीने बाद hearing मिल रहा है, so I always submit my paper book along with the APL forms, but however, you can skip that and you can submit that later on also.
Sangeeta madam is there? Hi, Sangeeta.
Yeah, I'm here.
So over to you.
Okay, thank you.
Concluding remarks.
Yeah, sure.
And I must appreciate and thank Sangeeta for always smiling and available. See, to ye koi bhi show run karna hai, so you need at least one coordinator or push of people around. Participants ko bhi thank you that they came and they actually made us work hard and come with the next session. Next session is on the 18th of January on Tally Prime 4.0. Nuances of things which can be done through Tally. The automating your office, how benefits, functional benefits you can take from the Tally Prime, which is need of time, Tally Prime. Mr. Sanjay Shukla will be the speaker. He's a faculty for almost 20 years into the Tally. He's in the Tally education area. So I will be having some chai pe charcha with the next session. Aanchal, you can also spread a word in your colleagues who are looking for Tally. And once again, from my bottom of my heart, thank you very much. Wishing everyone a happy, bright and prosperous new year coming. And over to you, Sangeeta, now.
Yeah, thank you, Vandana. That's very kind of you. You're very humble, Vandana. All the work you do and you give the credit to me. Nothing like that. I was just a support system to you. Like I was available to coordinate the webinar today. So I just volunteered. But all the hard work, talking to Achal, preparing for it, it's both of your efforts, which I think the members have gained immensely. I would really that Achal, you said that you had to put in lots of efforts to prepare this presentation so that the members can get a knowledge at a glance. Wonderful work. I think the members have gained immensely by this. Of course, the questions framed by Vandana, the answers you gave have given a practical insight about how to deal with the actual problems in case we are facing in the appeals. So thank you so much, Achal, for spending so much of time preparing for it, taking time off and being available today to enlighten our members. Thank you, Vandana, for the insightful topics that you come out with. Your topics that you think about are not only about presentation and just knowledge gaining. It's so very practical. People can actually get their queries resolved practically when they do something and then they come across some issues. The speakers that you come across are really wonderful. They're experts in their subject to the core, that they can sort out the things in such a manner that members can be like now comfortable that yes, in case of any problem, now we have got the solution, we have got the answers. So thank you, Vandana. Thank you, Aanchal. And thank you, members, for being part of this webinar. Hope you would have enjoyed and gained a lot of knowledge through this. Wishing everybody a wonderful, successful, prosperous, and healthy 2024.
Thank you.